What is up guys, it's Simon from PianoPig.com, and in this video, this video right here, right now, I'm going to show you one of my favorite and one of the most effective ways I know of to practice and develop our improvisation. And if you're new to the channel, I teach jazz and neo-soul piano, and my goal is to help you become the best player you can possibly be in the most efficient way possible. And if you like what you see, then definitely check out my membership, the PianoPig Academy, where we have endless resources, videos, courses, live streams, all the good stuff. You can find all the details over at PianoPig.com. But that's enough of me talking. Let's head over to the piano and learn how to practice improvising in a fun and creative way. I just want to start off by saying there are so many different ways to approach improvisation and many different ways to practice it. This particular exercise, however, is definitely one of my favourites and has massively helped me develop my own improvisation. I just find it easy to do for hours on end because it's fun and, more importantly, it's incredibly effective at getting vocabulary under your fingers and putting it into context. I'm going to explain the general idea behind this exercise, and then you can apply it to whatever you want. You can make it as simple or as complicated as you like. For this video, I've got a progression I'm going to be using as an example, and that looks like this. D minor 7, G major 7, B flat major 7, and A7 altered. I'm also going to be using a backing track, which you can download for free via the link in the description if you want to use it yourself. And just before we get stuck into this exercise, I'm going to put the backing track on and play some left-handed voicings so we don't have to worry about that again, since we want all our focus in the right hand. Here we go. One more time. So pause the video, have a go with that, get those voicings down, or just use a progression that you're already comfortable with, and then we can actually get started with this exercise. So the general idea is that we take a 3 to 6 note phrase. Definitely no more than 6 notes. 4 is normally the sweet spot. I'm going to be using this little phrase today, which is actually 6 notes, more than I'd usually use, but I heard it recently, I like the sound of it, so that's what I'm going to be playing today. So the first thing we need to do is go through each chord in our progression and figure out where we could play this lick to fit over each chord. So over our D minor, it's going to sound pretty good here. But when we get to our G major chord, it's going to sound a bit weird if we just play it in the same spot. Because we need to be using a different chord scale to improvise over this chord. So if we spend some time looking around in the G major scale, and try it out in a few different places, we'd figure out that it sounds pretty good here instead. And if we repeat the process for our next chord, B flat major, where we would be using the B flat major scale, or maybe even B flat Lydian, we'd eventually figure out that it sounds pretty good here. And again for our A7 altered, this might be a little more tricky since we need to somehow fit it into the A altered scale. But luckily it does, here. So playing that phrase over each of our chords should sound something like this. So that's step one. Take your phrase or pattern or lick and figure out where it sounds best over each of your chords. What I want to do now is get the backing track on and just play through it a few times, playing nothing except that phrase to really internalize it. Here we go. Once you've done that, the real fun begins. You're going to want to keep jamming it over the backing track, except you're going to develop it. You want to start relatively simple and not deviate too far from the original phrase, but as you get more comfortable with it, you can really mix it up. You can mix up the feel, the rhythm, the placement, and even improvise other stuff in between. Think of the phrase more like a motif, something that you can keep coming back to and developing. So if I was practicing this phrase over this progression, along to the backing track, that might sound something like this. So your practice might sound a bit more simplified than that, it might sound more advanced than that. The key is to find your sweet spot and basically just take the phrase and do as much as you possibly can with it. Come up with melodic variations, rhythmic variations, insert it into longer lines, literally whatever you can think of. That is how you truly learn and internalize new vocabulary and have it at your fingertips. So I hope you enjoyed that and found it useful. If you did, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.